Hey everyone, it's Kuya Clint, where I teach you guys how to play guitar easily and in detail. And today's going to be a quick, short, easier guitar lesson compared to the previous videos. And this one's a pretty straightforward video where I'm teaching you guys 5 tips when it comes to improving your bar chords to have a better quality sound when making them. So yeah, grab your guitars and we're gonna go straight right into it. So first tip would be to make sure that your thumb behind the guitar neck is right between your barring finger, for example, as well as the next finger that's right next to it. So when you're making this chord, behind that guitar neck should be right between these two fingers. You know what I mean? It should be just between those two fingers, like so. So from the side, it's going to look like this. You know what I mean? Like between those two fingers. To give you guys that extra leverage when it comes to applying pressure on your strings and your guitar. Some people wouldn't need to apply this rule because sometimes they're just built different and they can just apply pressure without really necessarily like considering this, especially its position in the guitar neck or like right behind the guitar neck. If you're having like a bit of a problem applying pressure to your chords, especially bar chords, make sure to like use this and like make it to like push the guitar neck away from you, and like these strings like press towards you. This finger kind of like presses that way, so they kind of like squeeze together. You know what I'm saying? Leverage, biomechanics, very nice. So it's like that. And as for the second tip would be to, instead of making sure that your fingers are flat when it comes to making a bar chord, round it a bit. This side of your finger here, instead of using this side, use this side instead. Do you see that callus? It's focusing on my face, but do you see it? But there's callus there. Okay, creates more leverage that way as well when it comes to applying pressure. Now this next tip is a continuation of the previous tip of rounding your fingers. And that would be to using your elbow as leverage too when it comes to applying more pressure. Because when you do that, because if you apply your fingers flat, especially your barring finger flat, your elbow kind of like goes away, which is kind of counterintuitive to what we're doing, which is to applying more pressure. So if you bring your elbow close to your torso or to your waist or to the side of your body here, like so, your fingers naturally tends to like go sideways as well and rounds up instead of like laying flat, especially when it comes to your barring finger, like so. You know what I mean? That's kind of just easier to make. It's like squeezing, you know, like that. Because if you do this, you'll have less pressure. But if you do that, it kind of like has more leverage when it comes to squeezing fingers in your guitar. And another tip that I could share to you guys, especially when I was just beginning playing the guitar, would be to, instead of applying your barring finger at the middle of the fret, try to like apply it here at the edge of, just like at the very boundary of like where the next fret is. I feel like, in my opinion, just makes an easier sound. Of course, it doesn't kind of like make sense if I do it, but if like a beginner would be like positioning where his finger or her finger might be, I'll tell them to like apply it here. Because if you're going to consider the height of the strings or like the action of the guitar string from like where it is and where the fretboard is, like that distance is like can be easily covered, or like it's more coverable if you just do it here. There's just less height to cover when it comes to pressing strings in order to have them create a sound that you like when it comes to creating chords. So instead of just doing it here, although it could still make sense, it could still make a sound, but it'd just be easier, like be more leverageable. I don't know if that's a word though, but yeah, it'll just be more easier. It'll just be easier to make sounds with chords that way, especially for bar chords. And the last and final tip would be, although it's pretty obvious at this point, is to practice regularly and make sure to develop an experience and calluses as proof of that experience too. Because that callus also provides some kind of armor to your fingers so that you won't be as hurt or as uncomfortable when it comes to pressing strings. Go at it with consistent practice, develop experience, make sure that you get the feel out of making bar chords. It's not gonna come overnight, or it's not gonna come within the next 30 minutes of you just practicing bar chords. Sometimes it's gonna take a while, maybe a month, a week, a few days, but you get there. Trust me. And bonus tip, last tip. Now this one's a bit of an expensive tip, but if you're using especially an acoustic guitar to practicing bar chords, I recommend switching to electric guitar. And 3, 2, you know what I'm saying? It has a thinner string, so that means that there's less resistance when it comes to pushing bar chords in, like so. And aside from that, it also has a lower action when it comes to its strings, so there's less height to cover when it comes to pressing them. This one's a bit expensive, especially if you don't have an electric guitar in your house or if you don't have the money for it. But if you do, it's a really great motivator for you to get into like practicing your bar chords more, because you'll be able to see the results much quicker when it comes to practicing with an electric guitar. This one's not tuned. Crazy. So yeah, this is the end of the guitar tutorial. Thank you guys for watching this far into the video. Please leave a like if you've enjoyed it so that I'll know. And please once again do not forget to subscribe and ring the notification bell down below so that you guys will be able to stay updated with future videos. And if you guys would like me to teach anything else, any guitar lessons or guitar tutorials for that matter, just click these ones right here. And I'll try to do it for you. And I'll also be able to show your support by sending a super thanks my way down below as well. Really appreciate that. And yeah, so if you guys would like to watch my other guitar lessons or guitar tutorials for that matter, just click these ones right here. So all good. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.